Now, Kino FLo have been well known in the industry for the past 30 years for their amazing lights that they make. But for an independent filmmaker, a sole trader, self-shooter, their lights can seem somewhat a bit expensive when you contrast them to some of the cheaper LED lights that are on the market. Now, of course, there are lots and lots of LED lights out there. And that's what brings me to this light today in this video. It's the Diva-Lite 21, and it's their latest LED lighting fixture. And the main point that I want to make with this light is that it's their cheapest LED light to date. And it's basically just a stripped back version of the other LED offerings, whilst keeping all the same optical quality and features that we'd expect from Kino FLo. Now, when I say cheap, obviously that's subjective. It's still a considerable investment for an independent filmmaker. But because of all the features that you get, and because of that quality and the long LED lifespan, I think this will be a popular light for those first-time buyers into the Kino FLo range. So the first thing you'll notice with this unit, if we twizzle it round, is that it's missing those plastic barn doors that we've seen on their other LED lights. And that's just to reduce the size, make it more streamlined, and it also means it has a smaller case, so of course it's much easier to transport. If we look on the back, we've got this ergonomic handle at the top. Helps you carry it around, but it also helps you move the light so you can easily shape it. And that's also aided by this ball and socket joint that we've seen on some of their other lights. If you wanted to, however, there is a yoke version that's available if it's going to be installed permanently in a studio, say from the ceiling. That might be more applicable for you. Move further down and we've got the controller, the brains of the unit. And if you've used the LED Kino before, then you will be familiar with this sort of layout. And that's basically the whole light. The Diva-Lite 21 draws 150 watts of power and produces 2,400 LUTs at 1 meter with a 95+ CRI rating. The colour rendition has been calibrated by testing the spectral sensitivity curves of various cameras and lens combinations, and the result of which allows you to maintain accurate white light no matter what system you're using to record. And that's the key strength to Kino FLo lights. When LED lights first started coming out on the market, Kino FLo were actually quite slow in terms of releasing something to compete with that. And that's because in the background they were doing all the research and development that was needed to make sure that when they did release something, it was going to live up to the quality and the heritage that they'd built up with the fluorescent lights. So in terms of operating the light, it's all done on the back through this controller unit. And the beauty of the Kino FLo LED range is that if you've used one, then you can pretty much use them all because they use the exact same sort of interface. You've got these physical control buttons around the edge of the screen, and you've also got the twizzle control dial on the side. And the whole system has been designed so that you can operate all of the settings with just the one hand, which is particularly useful if you're working at height on top of a ladder. You can keep your other hand on that ladder, or if you're actually hand holding the unit and operating the light that way. Anyway, in the menu, there are 4 different menu modes to really help you tweak that light. Let's jump into each of them. So firstly, we've got the white menu, and if you've used any other LED lights before, if they're half decent, this should look sort of familiar. You've got your general dimming percentage, and then you've also got your color temperature, your Kelvin. But of course, one of the beauties with the Kino FLo system is that you also get that green and magenta shift control too, something that you don't normally get on the cheaper LED lights. Next, we've got the gels and hue menu, and this mode gives you an extended Kelvin range to 2,500 to 9,900 Kelvin. Now, with the name being the main giveaway there, you've basically got access to over 100 well-known gels, and those gels can sit in front of whatever color light that you want behind it in terms of temperature. And with the addition of hue angle and channel saturation, you've basically got over 2 million possible colors. Now, the next menu is the RGB color mode, which gives you individual control of the red, green and blue channels. Perfect for working with apps or predetermined RGB presets and color wheels. Now, before I go into the final mode, obviously the modes that I've showed you up to now can all be operated individually, but what makes this system so versatile is that I can actually start off in one of those modes. So for example, if I quickly just put a gel on here, there we go, say you want that gel, you want that look, what you can actually do is switch over to the next menu mode. And what will happen is it'll keep all those settings and carry over into the next one, so you can then fine tweak it. So now I've gone from gel mode to RGB mode, and I can actually carry on tweaking the look of that light till I can really get it to exactly how I want it to be. Okay, so finally we've got the effects menu. And this was quite a recent addition because Kino FLo released a firmware update across all of their LED lights that brought along these preset effects. And you've got effects in there such as candle, fire, TV, police, lightning, paparazzi, pulse, and scroll. And although these are presets, you still have a strong element of control of each one. There are often different variations of each effects, and I can even control the rate and amplitude of that effect. Once I've got the effect set up as to how I want, what you can actually do as well is cue that effect. So here I've got my lightning exactly how I want it to be. If I press the power button once, the light will go off, but the controller will still stay on. And this could either be rigged outside of window because it's doing a lighting effect, shining onto your subject, or it could literally be someone hand holding this unit. And obviously when the director then is cueing them to trigger that lightning, they press that button and the lightning will happen. In terms of accessories, out of the box you'll get the included 90-degree honeycomb louver. It simply attaches firmly with some Velcro straps to the front of the light, and it helps you create a more direct light source. There's also an optional 60-degree version available too. If you want to make that light even softer, then you've got an easy option to do so with the additional snapbag softbox. And again, there's an additional louver with that as well if you want to control the direction of light a bit more. Now in terms of power, you can pretty much run the Diva-Lite 21 off any mains power source, but you can also run it off batteries, whether that be V-Lock or Kino FLo's own battery, the KF21. Now this battery can run the Diva-Lite 21 on full power for around an hour and 10 minutes. And unlike lithium ion batteries, only charges in an hour and a half as opposed to 4 hours. So that pretty much means if you get 2 of these batteries and you keep hot swapping them throughout the day, then you should have pretty much no downtime. And one of the nice points with the KF21 is that there aren't any travel restrictions. So you can take this on a plane or whatnot and you're not gonna have any issues. Now I've just got this mounted on a clamp onto the bottom of the bracket. So now we've pretty much got a completely mobile light source that's running on batteries. So you can just see how versatile that system is going to be. Now I actually used this light on a corporate talking head shoot the other day, and overall I was hugely impressed with it. And firstly, its size, it packs down into its hard case, and it's actually manageable as a one-man band, self-shooter producer. To carry this along with the rest of my kit was completely fine. And before, I've not really experienced that with any of the other Kino FLo lights. Secondly, having the amount of power that this can throw out and the softness of that light was hugely beneficial for my filming circumstances. Now, of course, as with any sort of corporate shoot, when you rock up to the office, you don't know the environment you're going to be filming in. Of course, it was in a meeting room with lots of natural, uncontrollable light. So to be able to counter that with a light source as powerful and soft as this, that still looks great, is hugely beneficial. I think when you think of the cheaper LED competition that's out there, a lot of people tend to go for 1x1 LED lights. But the problem with that is when you get to a light that's smaller than shoulder width apart, that softness and that spread on a portrait type talking head shot just isn't as appealing as something as you'll get from this light. So anyway, I hope you found that useful, guys. If you've got any questions about the Diva-Lite 21, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And tell me what you think about it as well. I mean, I was watching a video on YouTube the other day from another person who was reviewing this light or talking about it, and they used the phrase, it's the Swiss Army knife of LED lights. And I wanted to try and end this video with something completely unique with my own catchphrase, but to be honest, I can't think of a better way of putting it. This thing is hugely versatile. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.